story was created by the four-woman manga group known as Clamp, who've done a lot of popular titles, including Chobits and Cardcaptor Sakura. But this is my personal favorite of their works. Anyway, it starts with these three girls, Hikaru, Umi, and Fu, as they arrive in a strange land. They should introduce themselves. Now, these introductions where they show the full design of the character is similar to how it was done in the manga and anime, except I believe in those versions they did not mention their day of birth and or their blood type, just their age and what grade they're in. Of the group, and she's also the most tomboyish. Oh, and something that was left out of the game as to the introduction in the manga and anime, when Hikaru revealed her age to them, Umi and Fu were shocked to find out she was the same age as them, because they thought due to her appearance, they believed she was actually in grade school. Anyway, this is Guru class, and he explains where they are and why they're there. It's funny Fu says that because the reason this scenario seems a lot like a video game is because the group of Clamp themselves revealed a love of video games. I believe they're especially fond of Sega games, which is fitting because there was also a Maginite Rayearth game on the Sega Game Gear and the Sega Saturn. The Sega Game Gear game was never released or translated into English, into the US, and never translated into English. But the Saturn game was released in the US by the company known as Working Designs, which also released the Lunar series, among other well-loved games. Of course, since then, Designs has since gone out of business. But I believe one of the company has started his own company known as Gaijin Works. Anyway, here's our first random battle. And as you see, they currently have no weapons, which really puts them at a disadvantage, as you'll see in a moment. Fu only does 1 damage. Hikaru actually does a decent amount of damage, probably because of her coming from a martial arts family. So she would be capable of fighting well without weapons. But yeah, Fu's definitely the weakest, and Umi's, she does enough to actually be of some help to Hikaru, but she still doesn't do that much. And it's because of that these random battles may take a long time, and if I start to think that they're starting to take too long, I may cut a few of them out as I did with Breath of Fire playthrough. And that one just did a critical attack to Hikaru. As you probably noticed, they do start with a decent amount of HP. So they'll probably be okay for a while, and if not, they do have the life cubes that Clef gave them. And as he said, I can go back to him to get more if I need them. But hopefully that won't be necessary. And I also hope that when they get their weapons, that these fights, these random battles won't take as long. As for the enemies, I've never seen anything like these in the manga or anime, but they probably did have to come up with some new random enemies to keep the game from becoming too repetitive. This looks like some weird mushroom thing with some weird green bush on its arm or something. I just don't know what to make of those. And all 3 of them have gained a level. Now we enter the forest, and after this we skip to a cutscene. And this is Zagato. He's the one who has Princess Emerald in prison. And the others, Zagato's henchmen are concerned that the Magic Knights will, or that the 3 girls will become the Magic Knights and be able to save the Princess Emerald. So Zagato decides to send out Alcyone to take care of them before they become trouble. Okay, yeah, become problems. So there goes Alcyone, and this looks bad for our team, for our heroines here. This is a save point, and it also restores your HP and magic points. And then we come across this fairy. I don't think we're going to eat you. Anyway, we are now about out of time. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in next time for part 2. So see you then, and Kanako is out.